this computer. All right. Hey, everybody. Welcome. Armando here with John and Jess Hines, Monkey Bar Gym TV session. How are you guys doing today, John and Jess?
Good.
Hey,
good.
everybody.
How are you?
Awesome. Pretty excited about today's topic. But today's topic is the secret of staying plant strong. I know a lot of people, especially myself, struggle with staying plant strong, especially if you have a really busy lifestyle. So I'd love to dive into that. But before we get started, I do have a few announcements here. One really exciting announcement that we did a pretty cool launch today. But for the first announcement is the CNT course. Again, you guys got to check out the CNT course. We got a lot of YouTube videos about it, about past events. It's on April 22nd through the 24th in Madison. It is the Certified Natural Training course. You don't have to be a fitness professional. Most people actually go there for their own personal development, but it's a great way to really master your body and learn the philosophy that John and Jess teaches. And you guys have a base course on the 19th, just a couple days here, huh?
Yeah.
Awesome. And that's in, if you guys want to take a red-eye flight to Madison and make it to the 19th and learn how to heal your body, restoration, this is their secret sauce. This is how they get people with their active alignment and rebalancing the body and getting rid of aches and pains too as well. And also the online fitness program, we still have that available. It's awesome. We got the base program in there, strength training, conditioning, John and Jess in the private Facebook group. We're going to send a link to everybody joining this webinar, but it's right now we have it as a month-to-month plan. But it's a great way to experience the Monkey Bar Gym virtually. There's a lot of people don't have access to a Monkey Bar Gym physically, but if you want to take your workouts mobile, if you want to do it on your phone, tablet, smart TV, if you have that connection, on your desktop, this is a place to go. They teach you how to do base courses in there. They teach you strength training. So email me if you have any questions about that. Armando at monkeybargym.com, ARMANDO at monkeybargym.com. And if you guys have any questions about the base or the CMT certs and events, email Jessica at monkeybargym.com. And the most exciting announcement is our release that we did this morning, John and Jess, with the digital accessibility to your Eischens Yoga DVD. It's like a classic DVD that you guys had for years, right?
Yeah.
I'm pretty fired up about that. Again, it's mobile friendly, so we just launched that for 50% off for anybody taking advantage of that special. It's going to be happening till the end of the month. So you guys sold it for $97 back then for the whole package, right? When you guys launched.
Yeah, and that was how it was for years, and it's been the base of all of our training, and the most used by all Monkey Bar gyms around the world. It's our Eischens yoga sequences, and the two main ones are in there. The beginner sequence, which is the one that everybody, all Monkey Bar gym attendees and instructors teach that one. It also includes the warrior sequence, which is a really intensive sequence, and then it also has a sequence in there that teaches people how to give hands-on feedback, which is something that's only generally taught at CNT courses.
That's awesome.
So it's a very valuable download, and it has a lot of great information on it, especially if somebody's trying to feel better, more balanced, and improve their alignment and improve their performance, decrease injuries, things like that. It's got a simple version, a really intensive version, and then a how-to sequence on how to help one another with it.
Yeah. What I love about the DVD too is your Q&A session part on that program, how you discovered Eischens Yoga and your story. I think that's so interesting, and I can't wait for people to hear that stuff. So we're pretty excited about that. Again, it's $97 retail. That's what they sold it back then. Right now you can get it for $47. Yep. And it will expire at the end of this month, but we'll keep reminding you guys that it's available. We're getting tons of people just kind of came into the floodgates and started buying it because I feel like it's been like a water dam that's been built up with pressure, and people have been asking for it for so long. So I'm pretty excited about that.
Cool.
Yeah. So let's dive into the subject, the secrets of staying plant strong. And this is something I struggle with a lot too, since I've been really busy. I feel like you guys, again, you guys are at a different level than like most people who, like us, like we're just normal people. You guys are like rock stars, but it's like normal for you guys to stay plant strong. You know what I mean? It's just like, I'm just being realistic. It's just like, man, for you guys, that's like it's like not even thinking about it, but like most people, I believe, struggle like myself. So what are some of the things that you guys find that helps people with you and your clients and the members at your Monkey Bar Gym to help them stay plant strong? It's like some people feel like there's a secret sometimes. Is there a secret?
There is 2 secrets actually. One is quit eating so much, and 2 is you gotta eat foods that are live with for you, and foods that are not overwhelming for you. It's not a diet. So the big thing is people eat too much, and the second part is people think it's a diet where they can only eat certain foods, and this is not that. On a plant strong nutrition plan, you choose to eat foods that are nutrient dense, and that might include, tons of greens, beans, onions, mushrooms, berries, and seeds, all types of high nutrient foods. But it can also include, ocean caught fish and eggs and stuff like that if you want that in there as well. The thing is that you want the main crux of all your meals to be plants. And it's really that simple. But the hard part that people come to us and say is that, okay, well then where do you get your protein?
Yeah.
Or, well, what do I eat instead of meat at a meal? It's very similar to people having breakfast cereal with cow's milk in it. And they don't know, well, if I don't drink cow's milk, then what do I have? Or what do I have with my cereal? Well, why do you have to have cereal in the first place? That's the thing that we generally, you just want to eat foods that are really strong, and you don't try to get out of the dogmas of tradition that lead nowhere, basically. Breakfast cereal and cow's milk is one of them. Eggs and bacon and toast with butter on it is another typical breakfast. Low nutrients, high amount of saturated fats, not a lot of things in there that are going to give you energy for the day. And it's the same with the breakfast cereal, donuts and coffee, same thing. It's just people get stuck in these routines. So what the goal is to create a new routine that is livable for you. Eat enough, but don't eat too much of it. And if you do those 2 things, when you say you guys are rock stars, this is just how we eat. We've been doing it a long time, but it's just how we eat. And for anybody out there that might think it's too hardcore it's not. It's just how you eat. How you guys ate is how we ate, 15 years ago. This is just normal for us. Having tons of veggies for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. We just eat a lot of veggies most of the time. Sometimes we don't. Like this morning, we had oatmeal. We had a lot of nuts and seeds and berries in it and stuff like that. We still try and put in whole foods. We eat enough, a hand size like this bowl, and that's it. And if you can do those 2 things, you're going to be on your way to a lot of success. Problem is people just put too much crap on their foods, and they're addicted to, certain things like fake foods, basically. Lots of enriched breads and other things like that, tons of salt and sugar added to things, and tons of meats and things like that, which you can have all of those things, but just don't go cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs with them.
Yeah. And everything takes practice. Like John said, we ate the typical, way of eating before this, and it took practice. Bad habits take practice. Good habits take practice. So if you just realize that you're practicing.
That's funny.
So
bad habits take practice. That's true.
Because you're used to eating, like, in the morning time, I used to eat, cereal, sweet cereal with more sugar.
Yeah.
It was just like something that I did. I had to have that sugar sediment at the bottom of my bowl, and I got so used to that. And it's a bad habit. And then as I slowly started to transition in the very beginning, I was like, oh, this food is bland, what I'm eating. Maybe it was, a salad in the morning instead of cereal. But I was retraining my palate because I had trained it to be a certain way. Now I have to retrain it. And it just takes time, and be patient with yourself. But you got to practice it every day, something like that every day. Your mute's on, Armando. All I can see is your lips moving.
I'm sorry, because the AC went off here, and I wanted to make sure it wasn't like going over our sound. I forgot it was on. But I really like that quote that you just said. I think that's very catchy. It's very tweetable. Bad habits takes practice, right? Good habits takes practice.
I don't know about things like cocaine and heroin, though. I don't think
they might
people
take only
do
a
those
little
once
bit of
and they might be addicts of it. So.
That's awesome. So for the
one
people,
one day of practice.
It only takes one rep, and that's it. And you're hooked. Yeah. That's funny. So everybody on the webinar right now, if you guys have questions you want to ask in real time, John and Jess, please feel free to do so. If you scroll down to the bottom of the screen, you see a Q&A there. Just click on there. Ask, even if we're in the middle of a dialogue. Just ask. We want this in real-time dialogue. I have a laundry list of people you guys submitted when you guys hopped on board. I got a question that just came in right now, so let me take a look. What is John drinking? From Kelly Moore. So what are you drinking, John?
Oh, that's Dandy Blend. That's a tea.
Dandy Blend. You drink that every time we do a webinar. That's kind of.
Yeah, he does.
I drink.
Is that your webinar go-to drink?
I drink about 2 of these a day.
Oh, okay, got it.
Almost like a gallon of Dandy Blend. It's a herbal tea made of dandelion, hickory root, and something else. It's very good.
It is
awesome.
Very natural. It's a good tea.
So I got a laundry list, but I want to highlight something really quick that you mentioned about being plant strong. You mentioned that I feel like you're kind of touching the point that we're kind of conditioned to think that this is a normal eating habit to have, and especially in this country, of having cereal milk every morning. Where is this conditioning coming from? Like, why do we have that philosophy?
Powers that be, like back in the day, Quaker Oats and other companies like that saw a way to make money and also the industrialization of America. The people had to began working 9-to-5 jobs instead of working the farm so much. And so they had to start to go more towards faster, more ready, available foods. And that was part of the industrialization of America. And it became really, really popular in the 1960s, and when suburbanization took place, when people started moving out to the suburbs, and everything they wanted to make all these cookie cutter meals, like space type meals. Microwaves came out, and they started to think about a lot of quicker ways to eat. TV dinners came out, things like that. But as far as breakfast cereals, those came out about in the early 1900s, and they were at first looked at as a physical culture meal. Basically, physical culture is what we talk about all the time. About the entire culture from the late 1800s and the early 1900s was the proper training, the proper nutrition. The training included combatives, boxing or wrestling, along with strength training and movement training. And then they married that with proper nutrition of whole foods. But back then, their whole foods were a lot different than they are today, because today they're pesticide laden, they're GMO laden, they're processed to the hilt. They have tons of sodium and fat and sugar and stuff in all of the products. And so they're not eating pure whole foods like they were doing 100 years ago or so. Yeah. So it's quite a bit different. But the thing that all the old time physical strongman, physical culturists used to say is eat whole foods, even back in the day. And the interesting thing, most of the old time strongmen and physical culturists were plant-based.
Interesting.
A lot of them they would call themselves in their old time books vegetarians, vegans, or they would say they would eat a diet mostly made of plants and occasional meats on the weekend. They'd have some meats maybe on Saturdays.
Yeah.
That was pretty common for most of those guys back then. And they would even talk about a diet heavily laden with meats would slow the body. as far as its ability to have energy, because eating those foods and stuff, a lot of plant-based studies have shown that, it accelerates the growth and stuff of the body, and it leads to disease and the 5 major diseases. And that has been part of their argument about it, that it slows the body's ability to function properly due to the over taxation on the body to get those foods through the body, to utilize them. The body is always in search of nutrients, and meats are not high in nutrients. Some meats, support us with lots of protein and stuff like that, but it's the overabundance of meats that causes problems. And that's what we promote for people, is not to overdo it, but support your body with high amounts of nutrients. Mm-hmm. So even back in the day, whether it was breakfast cereals or just the way that they ate, their objective was whole foods. But all the cereals and stuff came about because of the industrialization of America, and then in the early 1900s and the 60s, where they really started to stress our quicker meals, ready-made meals.
Yeah.
So the book that I have is
Physical Culture Cookbook. Wow, that's awesome.
Bernard McFadden.
Mm-hmm.
It's incredibly old, and I think I may have used one recipe, but it's from 1926.
Oh my God.
Back, you'll see it says uncooked menus.
Oh wow. Yeah.
Vegetarian menu.
That's crazy. Wow.
I mean, people have been eating like that. I don't know if I had that covered up, but yeah, it's a vegetarian menu. So people, have been eating like this for quite some time, and
yeah.
We're acting like it's brand new, but it's been around.
Yeah, that's the thing. It seems like a sexy thing to talk about, either vegan, plant strong, born plant-based. And it's something that they did from way back, even probably before that book. I mean, everybody's been plant strong. I got to ask you, where do you guys get those old school books from? Like, how do you find stuff like that?
Yeah.
I've been collecting these books for about 18 years. And I've never been a fan of fitness books. Modern fitness books always have an agenda. They're always trying to sell you their product. And so I generally like to find out what's simplest and what works. And that's why I always stress, look at nature. And then I don't like to look at the modern day books because, as I said, they always have an agenda. And even if they don't, most modern fitness books delve into quackery, stuff that's a theory but not really applied knowledge and learned wisdom, basically. But these old time, there is a lot of fitness guys out there that are on point, but with the old time books, and that's a physical culture book, and that's one, it's 90 years old, and I get these online at a place called Abe Books, ABE books.com. You do a special search on physical culture books, and most of these books, they range from $30 to a couple $100, but I have quite a collection of these because I find a lot of value in them, because it's simple as hell. Movement patterns. These guys didn't have any machines. They didn't use mirrors. They didn't use supplements. They were all about just, how can I simply get really strong and get really healthy? Most of the modern world is all about the appearance of being really strong and healthy, but because they're so into using tons of supplements, they're truly not really healthy. And then also they're very much about the appearance, how they look in the mirror and things like that, over being just purely strong. Okay? Mm-hmm. So when you look at these old school physical culture books, these guys would be like one of the records here, it's never been touched. It's 100 and some years old. A guy did a one-arm press with, God, I'm going to guess 300 and some pounds.
Oh my God.
And nobody's ever come even close to that.
Wow.
And some of the things that they would do, like one that I would highly recommend people to purchase is a book about the mighty Adam. And the mighty Adam was this old little Jewish guy who was his story. He tells his story from almost death to becoming one of the strongest people in the world, mentally, physically, and spiritually. And some of the things that he could do were just so remarkable. And people can't do stuff like that today. It's such a different world. Back then, it was so much, you got to show it, you know, and it's not about the appearance. He didn't look like a beast, but he was strong as a beast. And his books, you can get his book online, Positive, The Mighty Adam, and lots of other books if you look under physical culture.
Yeah, it's funny when you first shared with me Mighty Adam, his story. You could actually find some videos of him on YouTube, old school videos, and even when he was like really advanced in age, I remember seeing this one video. He got a nail, literally a nail in a 2x4, and went wow, and went right through the 2x4, and we're like, and then there was a crowd literally around him, like shoulder to shoulder, watching everything he was doing to make sure it wasn't like a magic trick. He got a piece of freaking, what's it called, the metal chain, and chewed right through it.
Yeah, his teeth, and his hair, and his grip, his ability to expand and contract his chest, were incredible. He had a feat of breaking chains with his chest, biting through chains, connecting stuff to his hair. He actually went with jet engines pulling in 2 different directions, only attached to his hair.
Oh my God.
And, amazing feats that nobody would dare do this stuff today. People that tried to reproduce some of his records died. One guy, because they ripped their entire scalp off, their massive blood loss and stuff like that.
Oh my God.
Some of the certain things that he did were so off the charts, but he did a couple things. He kept it really simple. He always had faith and belief that he had a strength that was above normal, but it was something that he trained from the most minute level and just kept consistent with it. And that's actually one of the things that we teach in our Simple and Strong program, is how to slowly begin on a path of getting through eating and training to get extremely strong, but just you never even go to failure, and you just incrementally make upgrades to your workouts every week. And it's an old program, but it's so simple, but it works like crazy.
That's exciting.
The same thing that he's talking about with live with your eating. It's exactly the same thing. It's simple. I got to read this very front part of this physical.
Okay.
Bernard McFadden, he's the father of physical culture in the United States. He's kind of the one that started all this stuff. But it says, it's weird to have something on the very cover that it's like a paragraph on the cover.
Yeah, it is a trip.
Anyway, it's a physical culture cookbook by Bernard McFadden. You know, he changed his name. It was Bernard, but he changed it to Bernard because it sounded like a lion, which is hilarious. It says how to cook. How to cook strength of mind and body. In the hands of the woman, mind you, it's old. In the hands of the woman who cooks lies the health and prosperity of the family. Of them, she may make splendid specimens of manhood and womanhood, or she may sap their strength, undermine their health, and send them to an early grave. I wish we really listen to that stuff right now.
That's wisdom. That's wisdom right there.
He had an awesome statement that he used to have up. He was, as Jesse said, the most noted person in America in the early 1900s. And he said, weakness is a crime. Don't be criminal.
Don't be a criminal.
Also, we want to show you guys Holly.
This is who's biting on my home.
So cute. Wow. She got bigger.
Yeah, she's gotten really big.
They're about as big as my hands.
Yeah, she got way bigger because those pictures you guys posted, they were like when you first got her, was so small. Now they're getting a little bigger. Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, she's getting a lot bigger.
Pretty huge.
Is she healthy? She's doing good?
She's doing great. Yeah.
Awesome. How's Boo Boo taking it?
He loves it.
He's awesome. I actually posted some videos of those two having a couple boxing rap matches, a couple last night.
Dang.
They go at it. And Booby, he jumps on her sometimes. She mostly jumps on him, but they wrestle a lot already.
Yeah. Booby gives her a lot of rights. Then sometimes he does a double punch.
Yeah, he jumps on her like this. Well, I also wanted to show you guys, if you didn't know it, here's that book I was telling you about. This is Mighty Adam.
Wow, that's awesome. The World's Strongest Man. Old school books.
I highly recommend it just for the story is an amazing story. It's his life story, but the first couple chapters really delve into the how you train the mind and the body to be really strong. It's very simple things.
Yeah, that's awesome. I got some questions coming in. Kelly asked, she had a question about what you're drinking. She said, "Why does John drink it? What does it do for him?"
This is my superpower elixir that gives me a superhuman strength.
To actually touch a book and not even open it and read it.
Yeah, to do my one-arm handstands and one-arm chin-ups.
Kelly, you're missing out. You're not drinking the Dandy
Blend. Let's see here. Kelly says, is there a link to books John is mentioning on MBG Twitter feed handle? No, but I think he mentioned a website, Abe, right? Abe.com, abebooks.com.
abebooks.com.
We'll work on getting that.
So that's cool right there. Awesome. I got some questions that people submitted here, and we always have issues of going through our questions, so we're going to get a head start on this. Let's see here. So we asked the questions to people who registered. One of the questions we asked is, what is your biggest problem with having a plant-strong lifestyle? Elias says, finding options and sticking to it. What's your thoughts on that?
Finding options. Well, there goes again thinking that there isn't options. There's a gang of options. It's just getting your body acclimated to eating. I mean, people just get addicted to having like meat at every meal. What if, this might blow your minds, what if you just had vegetables and sweet potatoes for dinner? What would be wrong with that? What would, it's totally okay. Trying to watch, yeah. She's making that little dance around the living room. Jesse has to take her outside real quick.
The pee-pee dance?
She's she's making that, like, starting to sniff around that living room floor, like
the sniffing dance.
Yeah, she's in her stage right now where she's not like, hey, I got to go outside right now. So
got it.
Pay attention. The question was, how do you go about, dealing with accommodating so that you can stay plant strong? What I like to do is just I like to just have go-tos instead than for people. Instead of if you don't want to have so much meat, then you can replace it with things like tempeh. That's actually one of our favorites. We like organic tempeh, organic tofu. We substitute those instead of having meat-filled dish. And then the meal is basically the same. We might like have for dinner last night, I think Jesse made this really delicious tofu and peanuts, and then we had a bunch of greens on top of wild rice.
It's pretty easy. I mean, you just cut up the tempeh or the tofu into kind of small squares or bite-sized squares, and you put garlic in there. I would put maybe about a tablespoon of chopped up garlic, and maybe about a half a teaspoon of ginger, minced ginger. And then you'll put some low sodium soy sauce on there and maybe some sesame oil and let that marinate for a little bit. And you quickly just put that in a stovetop and cook it, you know, at medium high until it's golden brown, and there you go. It's
wow.
pretty
simple. That is simple. What's the time frame on that, like, estimated?
I usually let it marinate. I mean, if it can marinate for as little as, like, you know, 5 minutes or even less if you don't have enough time. But I like to just cut it up, put it in the fridge for at least 15 minutes. And then when I cook it on medium high, it might take about 10 minutes for that to get golden brown, depending on which one you're cooking, tempeh or tofu.
Mm-hmm.
But that's just an easy way to get that protein in there. And tempeh has a high amount of protein. I mean, it's out of all of the plant-based foods like that, it's got the highest amount of protein. So yeah, it's an easy thing to make. And then having some rice, which you don't have to watch at all, it just gets done if you have a rice cooker. And then some vegetables, even if they're frozen. I mean, that whole meal literally takes, you know, could take you 30 minutes to put together. It's not challenging.
No, it's not challenging at all. I like how you shared how you did it, because it makes it more real. Like, okay, how does she do it? Like, to hear that is awesome. Like, we think it's such a challenge. It's not, obviously.
Like spending a lot of time in the kitchen. I mean, I used to cook, like, you know, really get deep with it, but, you know, I'm tired most of the night, and I just kind of want to sit with Johnny and talk about the day or watch television, veg out, and I don't want to spend, you know, 2 or 3 hours in the kitchen like I used to. 30 minutes is great, you know.
Yeah, for sure. Kelly mentioned that there is a link on the Twitter handle for those books, so thanks, Kelly, for that.
Thanks, Kelly.
So let's see here. Next question here is, and we might be sounding like a broken record, but I think this is all challenges people go through here. Catherine mentioned that when we asked her, what is your biggest problem with having a plant strong lifestyle? She said, she's answered, my style is definitely plant though, but not always strong. And so we asked her, what is the number one question you have about having a plant strong lifestyle? She answered, how to avoid the temptation of eating vegan processed food, and above all, carbs.
Yeah, it's very easy to fall prey to the crappy foods. You're just gonna have to again take it, you know, with a live with. Maybe you still eat those vegan foods that you don't particularly, you know, are not doing anything great for your body, but let's replace that with something else at least once or twice a week. So maybe instead of, you know, eating one of those foods, you make a kale salad, and you get your kale, you cut it up, you make a great salad. Maybe you do that once or twice a week, and you can stick to those vegan foods, and it's going to slowly start to transition. You're going to start to feel better, and you're going to start to want those better foods, and you're going to start to make time to make those better foods. It's going to be something that you're going to want to do. It's going to naturally take over what you're doing right now. And I have to tell you, the process that you guys are going through is exactly the same process that Johnny and I went through. Exactly the same. Really? We're like, okay, so let's start eating some of this vegan food that's already pre-made stuff. We went through that. You know, and then we had to slowly transition to, well, you know what, I think this is going to be a little better. Slowly transition from there to where we are right now. So you guys are doing exactly the same thing that we did. We didn't just jump into it cold turkey and that was it. It's a process.
But another thing is all the other plant-based foods, if you want to just have plants and not eat any meats, you know, then you got to look at nuts, beans, seeds. All of those are great as well, and look at those as a stronger part of the meal than just a leafy part, you know. But look at the foods and get the most optimal ones. If you're going to have white rice, make it wild rice. If you're going to have greens, make them dark green. Vegetables, collard greens, spinach, you know, kale, super strong, okay? Get a lot of different colorful vegetables in there. Beans, legumes, all good. You know, right there, you got everything you need in a strong meal. Put some onions and mushrooms in there to help your absorption of them and to help your body digest them. You're going to be all good right there. Don't have to rely on a mock meat. And if you don't want actual, you know, like fish or something in there, and you don't want to eat a mock meat, then don't. Eat whole foods and you'll be fine.
And an easy thing to do, like let's say she's really having problems. There's in every grocery store, there's some prepackaged greens, and now they're even making like prepackaged like cut up kale and stuff like that. So it's really easy for you to get your greens and not need to wash the hell out of them and chop them up and all that other kind of stuff. So she even said, okay, I'm just going to get a bag of that. And I'm going to make that tempeh or tofu recipe that Jesse was talking about. Here you've got some garlic, you've got some ginger, you've got some soy sauce, and you have some sesame oil. You let that simmer, you stir fry it. If she had that saute, that tempeh or tofu or whatever it is, and the kale, and maybe she put some other veggies on there like cucumbers or something like that. That's a great start, and it's so easy, and it takes no time. Yeah. So even started that simple.
That is simple. Yeah, it is simple. Let me go on to the next question here. And this next question, actually, it's not even plant strong or plant-based related, but it's a gentleman by the name of Ozzy. You might know him. He's working on getting his CNT. Yeah. And he joined the online fitness program about a month ago. He said, I have a client that has arthritis in the kneecaps. Anytime we do a pose like front warrior, her knee starts popping. Sounds like something popping. Sounds like somebody's popping their knuckles, but in rapid successions. What modification or alternatives do you suggest? Thanks.
Well, the first thing is, does it hurt?
Yeah, the first thing Jesse just said, does it hurt, or if it's just popping? Because if it's just popping and there's no pain, don't worry about it. If it hurts, then there's a couple different things. One is she's probably putting too much pressure on the front of her foot. Drop more weight to the heel and activate her hamstring more by thinking of pulling the heel back instead of just being on the foot. That'll activate her hamstring, will turn off her the parts that pull so much on the front of the knee, and that'll create more balance in the leg on front warrior. That's one thing. Second thing is, by going to more of a plant-based nutrition plan, eating more whole foods, not over consuming, drinking tons of water so you get good nutrients in your body, but you also get it through your body. That's going to help reduce inflammation. Inflammation is one of the major causes of pain in the body. So alkalize your blood with plant-based, and that means you got to eat a lot of greens, okay, to alkalize your blood. Then also you don't want to eat a lot of other foods that are inflammatory. And then you also want to drink a lot of water. All of that stuff, juicing and stuff, all of this helps the body get good nutrients in and cleanse the body. And that's going to help if you have arthritis happening. That's going to really help a lot. Generally, if people have knee pain, you would normally have, as far as osteoarthritis, you'd normally have pain in your hands or your feet first. So if you're just having knee pain in the front of your knees, that might be due to just the tightness in your hips if you sit a lot, and the fact that you might be doing a lot of squatting and lunging type movements over a lot of extension type movements. So our Eischens yoga download, I would definitely recommend do that and really put a big emphasis on the supine bridge and the supine mountain and the prone mountain poses. Those are going to dramatically help to balance your hips and knees and reduce the pain in your knees. Jesse's also going to show you something else that you can do to help you.
If you want to go really simple, so there's quite a few of you who seem like you just kind of don't know. Okay, so that you might not know, what to do, and you're kind of guessing on what to eat. If you want to start off really, really simply, get a green drink. These are probably out in almost every. Yeah, it took a minute for me to figure out what direction it was going. So I was like, over here, almost every store. So this is something we found like anywhere we go when we travel, because we just came back from Kansas. They have them at almost every store, or something. Yeah, or something that's similar to this green drink. This green drink has celery, apple, cucumber, spinach, romaine, kale, lime, lemon, and parsley in it. And you can just drink that on its own, or you can add something to it.
Or drink this with water. And this is our greens. And we suggest for people, if you don't have time to juice yourself, get a juice, like Jesse just showed you. If you don't want to do that and you want a more economical version, then you get a powdered greens, and you put this in water or some apple juice or something like that, and you just stir it up and drink it that way.
And then sometimes what we'll also do to these kinds of drinks is just add a protein powder to it.
Oh, that's cool. That's a good idea. That's evolution. They sell that at Starbucks all over.
They sell it everywhere. So why not?
Yeah.
So start off there for those of you who are having some difficulty. Again, if you need more protein, add some protein powder to it. If you want to go a little bit more hardcore, get something like this and add some apple juice or, you know, coconut water even to it. And just right there and have at least 2 or 3 of those a day.
Yeah. And that's a Garden of Life for the powder, right? That's the name of the company?
Yeah.
Garden of Life, okay. Is there a specific product name for that one that you just showed? It was kind of shiny. You had the reflecting off the container, so we couldn't really see the letters.
It's called Perfect Food. It's raw organic green superfood.
Okay, Garden of Life, got it. Cool, that's awesome. Great suggestions. There's some really good action steps people could take today and to get started on that.
I mean, those are our quick go-to things when we're just like, okay, we got a meeting to go to, we got to do something, or maybe we have to squeeze in a training, session right now. That's our quick go-to stuff.
Or like we were just in Kansas City for Jesse's fight, and where we were, there wasn't any health food store around, so we got a refrigerator in our hotel room and we packed it up with tons of the green drinks.
Oh, perfect. That's awesome. Yeah, when you're on the go, that's a perfect thing for that too as well. That's a good suggestion. Thank you so much. Joe Joe submitted the questions too, or answers to the questions. She said, not sure how to balance for maximum nutrition. Where do I get the nutrition? Where do I get the nutrients from that I get from animal products now? And she would like practical strategies for nutrition balance. You guys kind of touched on that, but
sounds like she's worried about protein.
So she just asked, where does she get the nutrients that she gets from animal products? No.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So she's saying the nutrients that you get, the macronutrients, is protein. That's what you get from animal products. They don't give you micronutrients.
That's what gives you life.
It's true. So all the vitamins and minerals, that comes from plant sources. Protein is what you get from animal sources. You also get protein from plant sources. So you're looking to become more efficient with nutrients. It's not, we don't want to just look at macronutrients, carbs, fats, and proteins. We want to look at micronutrients, all your vitamins and minerals. We want to optimize those. That's the important one. I would highly recommend for anybody out there that if you want to learn more about this, get your pencil and paper out right now and write down. I'm going to tell you guys a couple different authors that are on point and explaining how to eat plant-based. And some of these guys also explain how to go by the way of eating nutrient-based instead of calorically based or macronutrient-based, because that's what the young lady that was just asking that question, you are asking that questions about macronutrients, as protein is one of them, okay? And utilizing that and becoming, how do you transition from that? All of these have protein in them. They also have carbs and fats. They all have that. Plants, that's the best way to get your nutrients, okay? And plants are also the best way to get all your micronutrients. Meat is not the best way to get micronutrients. A lot of people that eat a lot of meat will say, well, the cow eats the grass and I eat the cow. That's a really, really, really poor argument. Yeah. So you want to get it from the source, not from a source of a source. Okay?
Nice. I like that one.
So a book, Joel Fuhrman, Dr. Joel Fuhrman is one person that talks about micronutrients, getting nutrient-dense foods. If you really pay attention to what he says in his books and eat what is called G-bombs, greens, beans, onions, mushrooms, berries, and seeds. If you eat that way, you will get really healthy. It's not quackery either, because he does not say you can have this, you cannot have that. You can eat whatever you want. His suggestion, eat a plentiful amount of these nutrient-dense foods, okay? He's one person you definitely want to pay attention to. Dr. Fred Beacey is the second guy, Your Healthy Journey. And his book talks about creating a path and a live with program of eating plant-based, plant strong a path that you can live with. It can include, you know, animal products or processed foods as well, just like Dr. Furman's does. So both of these two excellent doctors show you how to transition from a traditional Western diet that's high in animal products, high in processed foods, to a plant-strong one, but it's got to be your way.
Yeah.
So if that means instead of steak and eggs for breakfast, a small upgrade, eggs and a bunch of broccoli or spinach. Okay, that's a huge upgrade.
Yeah.
Instead of a after workout smoothie that might have milk and whey protein powder, maybe you go to a spinach smoothie and you put in some coconut milk, spinach, mangoes, frozen mangoes, little plant raw protein, plant-based raw protein powder, or some the raw greens that we just showed you, and put in some nuts and seeds and stuff like that. That is a huge upgrade.
That's huge.
Okay? It's packed with nutrients. So right there, you got your breakfast and you got an after-workout smoothie that are huge upgrades. They're going to maximize your nutrients, and they're still going to supply you with tons of protein without all the toxic side effects from overdosing in foods that generally contain lots of toxins and that are just generally not as healthy for you.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's some great suggestions, man. That was awesome. I like how you suggested those books to help people. The way you explain how to get people from where they're at and to transition to where they want to go in terms of having a healthier lifestyle. And that's a good point. And a lot, you know, again, nobody really talks like that. It has to be something that you have to do on your own, in your way, but suggesting these things. So that's awesome. I love that.
I mean, for those people who are really, really having a difficult time, I would do, like John said, recommend Dr. Joel Furman, because he does take you from point A to point B. He's got a couple of books that you can get. This is the second one. The first one's an orange book.
Yeah.
But Eat for Health.
Yeah.
If somebody's really having invest in that. I mean, it's gonna it's for you. It's for your health. It's for your livelihood. Invest in it. Educate yourself.
Yeah.
They're not diet books.
Yeah.
They are just eat whole foods, and here's the healthiest ones to eat.
Yeah.
That's it. You know, if you still want to go out and have a burger once in a while, that's fine, you know, but once you start to eat healthy, your body begins to become cleaner. And when you eat foods that are not healthy, when they start to go into your body, you're immediately going to feel the side effects of the high amount of toxins or salts or sugars or fats in those foods and the repercussions of that. It might come in like the display of bags under the eyes if you have a high salt meal. It might come in the form of mucus in the middle of in the night, where you might find yourself, you know, like, you know, a lot during the middle of the night from a lot of sugars in your diet. Okay. All of these things manifest, but they show it in a healthy body. In an unhealthy body, you never notice because that's all you eat, and you've got acclimated to feeling sluggish, having bags under your eyes, having a lot of, you know, saliva or whatever in your mouth or something like that, phlegm, you know, so.
Having headaches.
Yeah, headaches is a big one. Backaches, that's a common one for people, for bodybuilders, especially that eat a lot of meat. Have lower back pain. I used to have that.
Joint pain.
Joint pain, high inflammatory foods from drinking a lot of or consuming a lot of dairy products. So all of that stuff, when you eat clean and then you go back and have a meal like that, you notice it. But if you don't eat clean, you never notice it, and you just continue down a negative spiral.
And it's I don't know what that word is, but it's nice to know, you know, what you're eating. It's nice to know what you're eating is how it's affecting you, you know, instead of being blind to it, you know. Understanding why you have headaches all the time. But to know that, you know, get yourself clean enough to know when you go back and you eat something that gives you a headache, oh, that's what gave me a headache. It's no big deal. I probably won't eat it for a while, but, you know, maybe I might eat it down the road, but that's what's going to happen to me.
Yeah.
thinking that you're sick and you don't have an answer. You have an answer. Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. Being aware.
Guess who that is? They're soliciting shitty food.
Really? Who is that? Domino's Pizza?
It's the Girl Scouts.
Oh. Impeccable timing.
Did you have a favorite Girl Scout cookie?
Huh?
Did you have a favorite Girl Scout cookie?
I never ate the Girl Scout cookies. I was never interested in that stuff. I always see them posted up. Nah, I never. I mean, I see them hustling. But I never bought those cookies. And some friends bought them before, and I ate them, but I wasn't like super wild about it.
Yeah, I've never had them. I was never really fascinated with them. I think as I got older, I got really into Little Debbie's, though. Do you remember
Little Debbie's? Yeah, Little Debbie's. It's funny when you said Little Debbie's. It reminds me of Will Ferrell's when I forgot what talk show he got on, a late night talk show. He was dressed up as Little Debbie, and he was trying to promote I don't know if you've seen that, and he was like literally acting like a little girl and trying to promote it. Hilarious. Yeah, it was funny. Oh man, but I like this. Huh?
The little girl was so cute that it was just selling the Girl Scout cookies. I almost bought some.
Hey, they're the best salespeople. I mean, they don't got to say much.
Just look at you and
can you buy? Okay.
And I was like, oh God, I'm sorry, I don't eat that.
Yeah, there ain't no hard close there. It's just you just want to buy it from them. Awesome, that's a great suggestion. You know, it's funny. I'm in my mind, I'm thinking, because this lady who submitted this question, her perspective on food was that she's gonna miss nutritional value if she gave up animal products, and I feel like that's going back to what you talked about, Don, about how the I guess the corporations or the way we're conditioned, the marketing or them sending this message conditions our perspective that way. Am I correct on that, or?
Absolutely, yeah. Food is a business.
But she doesn't have to give up. I mean, she doesn't need to consume so much animal products, but she can still have them if she wants them.
Yeah.
Just try to eat more plants. That's the big upgrade.
Yeah.
Okay. And can you make a couple switches so you're not having animal products every meal of the day, every day of the week? Can you do that? Or maybe you reduce the amount a lot to a much smaller amount. You know, it's especially unless you're a really big guy, you really don't need much protein. The plants and everything gives you enough. But people are obsessed with this bill of goods they've been sold that you need to consume 1 gram per pound of weight. That's complete BS.
Yeah.
Complete BS, even for a professional athlete.
Yeah, that's interesting. And I feel like it's more of a battle of the mind and the body when it comes to, like, when you guys suggest these books, you're giving us tools to protect our mind from this type of philosophy and really have truth in our life, you know? It's interesting. It's like an information war, honestly, if you ask me, because we're not exposed to this information. That's why I appreciate you guys taking the time, an hour out of the week, to sit down on a 2-to-1 or whoever's at the audience to talk about stuff like this, because nobody talks. This is rare air, and for people listening to this on the replay, man, go back to the past sessions that we have on MPG TV and webinars and listen to them again, even if you listen to them once before, but you'll catch more stuff. I feel like if you listen to this type of conversation on a daily basis, that'll help you be more aware and apply some of the stuff you guys are teaching. And so that's a great way to leverage your time, because we can't always be accessible to you guys, but that's why we do these shows for you. The next question here I got is from Bill. Well, actually, yeah, from Bill. He says, how do I stay satisfied? How do I obtain enough protein? We talked about that, and he thinks that recipes will help him out.
Well, if you're on our membership, then you have access to a lot of recipes. We put on there was it a 21 day or something?
Maybe less.
We have a week of menus, recipes and stuff that you can see that are great sample ones. Also, the books that I told you about, Joel Fuhrman, Dr. Bisi, tons of great recipes. Thrive by Brandon Brazier. He has a lot of great recipes in there as well. And these are all, they can be once you've made a complete transition, or you can use them in your life as you're slowly upgrading towards more and more plants in your nutrition plan.
I'd love to also know what he means by satisfied.
Yeah.
So if he's listening, if he could actually elaborate on that, because I think that somebody else probably has the exact same issue. So yeah, if he could tell us what he means by satisfied, whether it's flavor or whether he's actually feels like he's starving, or, you know, there's a lot of things that could go with that word.
Yeah. So yeah, Bill, if you hear this again on a replay, just comment below. If you're listening to this via YouTube or on SoundCloud, you could comment on either of those platforms in there. I'll get a notification right away, and then we could save that question for our next show. We got about 3 more minutes till we have to shut down, because I want to respect your guys' time. Is there anything else you guys want to mention before we close out here?
Wow. We would, well, no. We got our courses coming up, our CNT course, we got our base course. If you like what you're learning here, you know, train with us online. If you want to learn more, train with us in person and come to a CNT course, and we go into depth on our training, our alignment, and our nutrition. And it's not only that, but we really lay out how to do the program for each and all, and how to put them all together. And that's what our CNT 1 is about. That's what our CNT Elite course is about. And that's what all Monkey Bar gyms around the country are all about, is knowing how to lay out a plan of action for your training, your nutrition, and your alignment for yourself, and then learning how to help other people put that plan of action into their lifestyles.
That's right. Yeah, that's awesome. And I would request a call to action for people who are seeing this in the replay or in the audience right now to post what you guys got out of this MBG TV session on our Facebook fan page. That's, again, spreading the message and helping people. When people see what you learned and your progress, people will get motivated. So what you guys learned from here, see if you can get at least one thing and post it on our Facebook fan page and let us know.
Even with that too, Armando, can they post like a picture of one of their plant-based meals?
Yeah.
Share what you guys are eating, because I know everybody's different, and I know a lot of you are like, hey, I've been doing this plant-based thing for years, and you make beautiful salads and beautiful meals. Let's see what they look like, and it should inspire those other members.
Yeah, exactly. That's a good call to action. A picture of your plant strong meal, or smoothie or something on our this week before this weekend ends.
Yeah.
Got it. Awesome. Thanks so much, John and Jess. I appreciate you guys' time. This is super jam-packed with value and resources, and I'm pretty excited to get this out here in the world for people to see the replay. So I appreciate you guys' time. Thank you so much.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Hope you have a good week.
Have a great night.
Bye.